This is the Reds Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Woo! Good afternoon, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the Reds Postcast, brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am Tim Daniel. I am a lifelong Reds fan, and I have been podcasting about this team for 5 years at publications such as Late Night Reds and the Riverfront, and I'm here to say thank you all for, one, being patient with me as we discuss the Cincinnati Reds pulling off an unbelievable, epic, let me rephrase that real quick. We're here to discuss Noelvi Marte pulling off the catch of the decade for the Cincinnati Reds. If you were just checking my show out for the first time, welcome. We are so happy to have you. Please be sure to hit that notification button so you can not only get my show after each and every single Reds game, but you can get Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds. Just a quick programming note, I will be joining Jeff later tonight live here on Locked On Reds as well. On today's show, to quote the great Rocky Balboa, I didn't hear no bell. The Redlegs are still alive. Nick Lodolo delivers an unbelievable outing, and it was a Marte Partey today at GABP. All that, a whole lot more. My everydayers are in the building to talk about an unbelievable Reds win. Let's get started.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Redlegs never say die. Redlegs never say die. I didn't hear no bell. You got a movie quote for me? I will listen to it because the Redlegs are still alive after an unbelievable day for Noelvi Marte. That catch is the bit, like, I was at Clinchmas. I was at the Drew Stubbs catch of Carlos Lee in 2010 in the third inning that keeps the Reds alive, that has Tim Burdack coming in the field, that gives Jay Bruce a chance to hit the walk-off. That was bigger. Noelvi Marte tracking that ball down. Bryan Reynolds, who's a notified Reds killer, who just generally just always finds a way to beat the Reds. That ball's gone. No other way to put it. Noelvi Marte might have separated his shoulder on that catch, but still found a way to keep it in the ballpark and bring it in. Unbelievable. This team still finds a way to fight. I can't even believe it. They just always find a way to be in games. They always find a way to fight. They always find a way to keep us involved. They always find a way to stay in the race. Now, they need a lot to happen. Emilio got announced and mentioned after the game. But they're still in it. Noelvi Marte today, making the catch of catches. Just amazing. TJ Friedl today gets on base 3 times. Gavin Lux gets on base twice. Miguel Andujar has 2 hits today. Brian Hayes, who came into this game with a notified, really slugging that 0 for 25, is 2 for 3. Should have had a run. By the way, I might add, Nick Lodolo gets pulled early. We're going to talk about Nick Lodolo here in a second. Graham Ashcraft finishes the inning. Tony Santillan does give up a run, but it keeps it to 1. And Emilio Pagan shuts the door. They found a way to keep fighting. And I don't know if things are going to go the way that we're all hoping it is. I don't know how they get this done. But I know that they are not going to go down without a fight. If they continue their usual struggles against the Brewers, it sucks. It's disappointing. It's heartbreaking. But I know they're at least going to fight. And I don't want to guarantee this by any means, but if the Phillies lose tonight, the Brewers clinch the number 1 overall seed in the National League. So maybe they have nothing to play for. Maybe they just want to get their guys to next week healthy. Can't guarantee it. Well, they have a bye, but you know what I mean. Can't guarantee it. Not saying that's going to happen, but it's in the back of your head, right? The offense has definitely got to step up in that series. Johnny says it here. Can't beat the Brewers scoring 2 runs a game. Totally agree. You're going to need one of those 9-1 games at some point probably, and you're going to need to hold the lead. But today, we're all Cubs fans tonight, obviously. And today the Reds found a way. Obviously the runners in score position thing really hurt this team this whole series. 5th inning, boom. 2 for 5 in the situation. I thought Brian Hayes was safe. All right. I watched it on giant televisions. I thought he was safe. I know that doesn't matter now because the Reds won the game, but could have made you breathe a little easier in the ninth inning, right? Oh, Lonnie, good one. Rambo, first blood. Nothing is over. Nothing. Love it. Absolutely love it. And it's certainly over there. Booster says it here. Phillies play a red hot Marlins team. So chances are there. That's all you can ask for is chances. With how this season's gone, it's all you can ask for. So today, huge day, huge win, way to close out GABP for the year. And one guy who really played a big part in that was Nick Lodolo. Let's talk about him and more right after this. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with the can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping live in as the action unfolds. Or for me right now, I'm planning on my NBA futures bets, awards, finals predictions, you name it. I'm all over it on FanDuel. It makes every game even more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. What do you get when you have a bald eagle standing on top of a silverback gorilla riding a T-Rex? Confidence, pure confidence. If you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to get Rougit Go Long. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to go with Rougit Go Long. That's exactly where Rougit Go Long comes in. This isn't just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. The effects can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment kit ships directly to your door. Ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to rugiet.com and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's rugiet.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Make sure to use our code so they know we sent you. Can you believe it? The Redlegs are still alive with 3 games left. And you got me for all the last 3 games here on the YouTube channel. Please be sure to hit that notification button, hit that subscription button so you can get me after these last 3 games in Milwaukee. And you can get Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday. And if all goes as planned, I'll see you next week too. Turning point today was obvious.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Noelvi frickin' Marte. The catch of catches. 9th inning. Season basically on the line. Bryan Reynolds, certified Reds killer, puts one. Looks like it's going to the right field seats. And Marte says no. And thank God his shoulder's okay also. One other guy who really contributed big to the Reds today was Nick Lodolo. And now, if you remember, I said yes. I might have said this yesterday, or I texted to somebody. I can't remember. I said Nick Lodolo hasn't been himself the last couple starts. I'm a little worried about Nick Lodolo in this start. And Nick Lodolo went out and delivered. First inning, Bryan Reynolds hits a single. 2 outs. And you're like, and he gets Andrew McCutchen next play. Second inning, Tommy Pham gets an infield single. He goes and strikes out Joey Part, goes and strikes out Canario, goes and strikes out Rafael Flores. And from there, Lodolo. Third inning, gets through, no harm, 2 strikeouts that part. 4th inning, strikes up Bryan Reynolds, gets Andrew McCutchen to fly out, gets Tommy Pham to ground out, and we're back rolling. 5th inning, dominates again, gets 2 strikeouts there. 6th inning, does the same thing. Reds have the lead at this point. Does walk Nick York, takes care of business from there. And then, of course, the 7th inning, he strikes out Andrew McCutchen, and that's when he leaves the game for a groin injury. I was lucky enough to hear the post game. Sounds like he feels like he's okay. Feels like he's not really worried about it. He's going to just do some treatment and see how things go. But it doesn't sound like he's concerned that this is going to be a crazy injury. Thank goodness. But Nick Lodolo today, when the Reds needed him most, was awesome. Him and Hunter Green the last 2 days combined for a total of 3 runs given up. And, no, I'm sorry, 2 runs given up because it was Tony Santillan that gave up the earned run today. But he was just awesome. what they're getting from their starting pitching. And someone asked earlier, let me see if I can find the quote comment. They asked, here it is. Jonathan Lynn says, would the Reds have the best pitching staff besides the Phillies if they make the playoffs with Hunter Greenback? Yes, I think so. I certainly think that that's a team that no one wants to face. Even though all those teams can probably out-hit the Reds, their pitching is good enough. And I'm really curious. I talked to somebody today that said, I wonder what Tito's going to do with the offense in the postseason, because he knows they're going to need to get every hit they possibly can, and they're going to need to be able to move runners over, which they haven't been able to do all year. So curious to see the decisions he makes there as well. Graham Ashcraft comes in, fills in, gets 2 outs. Tony Santillan, like I said, does give up the run. Hasn't been himself of late, but I still really like Tony Santillan. And Emilio Pagan got some help. I know he gets credited the save, but Noelvi Marte was really the save of saves in that one as well. So nice Jay for the pitching. Hopefully Nick Lodolo, if they can sneak in, is ready for that series next week, which sounds like it's going to be in LA. We will absolutely take that. And hey, it's blatantly obvious, right? Our locked on player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Noelvi Marte. Shocking, I know. Not just the catch, but one of the 2 RBI in the 5th inning. The one that gets them on the board. The one that gets things rolling. This was a bad Red series, right? Noelvi Marte had 2 pretty good days back to back. I can't imagine that he's just going to be done from that, right? Obviously, we know Noelvi Marte is not a guy who's going to go up there and draw a base on balls, right? But he does find a way to make things really fascinating. He does find a way to give the Reds a chance every time he's in the lineup. And so I will absolutely take it. Look, he had 2 strikeouts today. No one's going to ever remember that. They're going to remember the RBI. They're going to remember that he scored the 2nd run. And they're going to remember he had the catch that basically saved the season. Man. And Josh says here, the player of the game is Key Brian Hayes. Without that, Marte is not in right field for that play. That's a great point. So huge day for the Reds, an unbelievable win, still alive in this thing, and I couldn't be happier. 3 of these left, and you go to the House of Horrors, the place that you've struggled the most. Go to Milwaukee. And tomorrow, the Reds will deal with that, but today, we're going to discuss the Reds getting a 2-1 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Reds have 2 runs on 10 hits, no errors. The Pirates have 1 run on 3 hits and an error. Nick Lodolo gets his 9th win of the year. He is now 9-8. Ashcraft gets up his 4th loss of the year, being Braxton Ashcraft. He is now 4-4. And Emilio Pagan picks up his 30th save of the year. And now we turn forward to the final 3 games of the regular season at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And Zach Littell gets the Reds started against the Brewers. He is 10-8 with a 3.86 ERA. He'll be going against Quinn Preister, who has a super underrated Cy Young case, even though he's not going to win it. He's 13-2 with a 3.25. First pitch of that game is at 8:10, so it looks like we might have a little bit of a late nighter. And Dave does say here, the win today does clinch the series against the Pirates for the year. Everyone, thank you so much for being patient with me. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. And thank you so much for waiting on me to get here today. I'm Tim Daniel. I will be on later this evening with Jeff Carr as well and Locked On Reds Live. We're excited to talk with you guys to get you ready for the Brewers series and discuss today's win a little more. Take it easy, everyone. Go Reds. Go Dodgers, who are winning big right now. And tonight, for the love of God, please, go Cubbies. See you all.